Well, yeah.
Spring break, man. Spring break, and everybody's happy, huh? The weather is beautiful.
The sun finally came out.
After the valley winter was probably one of the most extended ones in some time.
Man, I really don't want to believe it's spring yet. I don't see it happening. We're supposed to get another weather.
By the calendar, next week will be spring. But by the looks of the topography, climate, and such, it's been interesting.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's going to augur something in the way of a hot summer.
I hope not.
Steamy summer, maybe?
But it always happens. But since we've been away, there's been a lot of things going on. So
A lot of things ending, a lot of things beginning.
Yeah.
And things continuing as well.
Well, let's pick up with baseball. Damien and the boys down at Edinburg North seem to be doing fairly well, looking to contend for that title.
Yeah, man.
They've got Sharyland this week.
Indeed.
Tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, they do. North hits the ball. God, both the softball and the baseball teams clobber the ball. They're a lumberyard, man. That baseball team scored 15 times against DHS, and that's a good pitching staff, man. I think North has what it takes. I'll tell you, there's a couple of reasons why. One is the improvement of Alex Canoe, the big lefty. He's stylish lefty, man. He's going to be dominant before he's done, I'm telling you. And the step function change from last year to this year is pretty good. They've got another couple of guys who pitch. They don't have Fernie from last year. Remember Fernie Contreras, the workhorse? But these guys, there's a number of them who can pitch. Sam Garza pitched a no-hitter the other day against Down. Other than that, they don't have that much pitching. Now, is it proven pitching? Not yet. But I think they're going to have enough. And with that offense, man, they scored 52 runs in 4 games. And they're just bombing the ball. And here's the thing about North. From top to bottom, 1 through 9, there's no weak spots, man. Cantu, the 9th hitter, the receiver, the quick guy, he had 3 hits the other night. That's a good lineup. Without John Silva right now, who's kind of hampered by injuries, I mean, they got talent to burn, man. This is one of the best North teams I've ever seen so far.
So far. And you were saying they're 8 and 9 slots. They're getting production, too.
The 8th is Saul Garza, a freshman. Watch for him in football. He's a big old boy, but he's got some good hip quickness, man. He had 3 hits, too, the other night against Bobcats. Now, Edinburgh's got those 4 really great players, veterans, seniors, all Valley candidates, all of them. The extent to which the other guys will then come on and fill the gaps remains to be seen. Because when North you get to 7, 8, 9, as I say, and you're still in trouble because they can all hit. They're hitting, I don't know, nearly 400 as a team, which in baseball is pretty much.
That's amazing, yeah. So, well, it sets up, like we said, for Sherry tomorrow. Those 2 teams, I mean...
In a lot of sports, they have been starting to butt heads like there's no tomorrow.
And it's butting heads, and Sherry's been a bit dominant.
Sherry is the most dominant baseball program we have. And now we're going to see in this first year after the coaching change, after the loss of Barrera up to UT, will they be able to face a challenger? I think there's a couple of teams that will challenge them because Palmview is good, man. They got a great pitcher. That's a good team. At one point they were 11-2. The only losses were to Rogue. Yeah. It was the surprise story of the year. What a district! So we got Sharyland, you got North, and do not count out the Bobcats because they have an outstanding group. It just depends on some guys you never heard of. And here's the other thing: when you got 1 through 9, you can have a bad game. Joe Esquivel, who hit a grand slam, is a huge, amazing hitter. If you don't do good, then them other guys will pick it up probably. 9 guys, your chances are higher. But with the Bobcats, their first 4 or 5 are amazing, as good as anybody's. And after that, they don't have that depth of the lineup yet. And so if they want to stay in the race, they're going to pitch well enough. And it's just a matter of, will they hit across the line?
I got you. Well, we'll see what happens this big week coming up. I mean, there's still games going on.
Lots of games, man.
Thursday, actually.
Vela is a team that's 2-2 with the Bobcats, each 2-2. They're right there, you know. The Sabercats have young talent, as in every sport. I thought Arnie Salinas, the pitcher, who I thought it was like his older brother when I saw him, he's gotten way bigger and stronger from last year, throwing the ball really well. They've got plenty of pitching. I think Vela's going to contend. I don't know how far they're going to go, but they can contend. They can make the plays. Brendan Rivera, the high jumper, whom we'll talk about, is a good third baseman. No, I think Vela's improved from last year.
Nice. I guess let's move over to the girls' side. San Benito's coming around.
San Benito's coming around. I'm looking at that district, and they're starting to separate a little bit. I really feel that, you know. I mean, the standings aren't that far away, but I mean, they're so good.
Yeah. I mean, but they're finally coming around. They were a little bit slow at the beginning of the season, and then district play kicked in, and they're getting pitches from that junior.
Castillo, right? Yeah, exactly. So you don't have to show Amber all the time.
Exactly. And they put Amber in the outfield, which is good. I mean,
quick as a cat.
Yeah,
like a little water bug. You know?
So they're coming around, and they're looking.
They played a lot of tough teams. They played a tough schedule, and that's a good thing for a team because you may lose a couple of games during a non-district, but as long as you're playing good teams and learning, then it's okay. I mean, you don't want to go 1-10 or something, but I mean, if you lose 3 or 4 games in the early going, maybe that wakes your kids up and they say, oh, okay, we got to work harder. Or maybe we found a weakness that we can control. No, I think they have a good chance to win the district. Memorial's not looking horrible, right?
No, they're not.
They got some good wins lately.
Memorial, they got Mac High coming up. That's going to be a good game.
And everything. Soccer too, by the way, in the 18.
Yeah, so it's going to boil down to that. I mean,
has Rowe still been playing as well as it had? I think it has.
Rowe is playing well. As a matter of fact, they're playing right now.
Oh wow, as we speak. God, what a day for softball, man. We're all going to be sunburned when we go to the game.
They're playing La Grulla right now.
Oh, okay.
At home, hosting a match. I mean, which I like.
Smart.
Which I really do like. Let's schedule a game. Let's go on both teams. That's smart on both teams.
You keep your kids engaged. Because right now I'm having trouble with my 11-year-old for spring break. You know, she's kind of this way and that. I'm like, we got to keep doing something productive every day. So if you have your kids in the program at a game, which means they have to come in their stuff, they have to get on the bus, they have to do all the right thing. You don't lose them for 3 or 4 days to TV and the beach and all that stupid stuff. You know? I say stupid, of course. You know, not that I never went in my younger years back in 1912.
But yeah, anyway, well, Rowe's still kicking in. I think they're 4-2 in district right now, and it's going to boil down. I mean, we've got a little bit over a month in softball, I believe.
I think, listen, those other teams you mentioned have a chance to hang with San Benito, but the Lady Greyhounds have tradition on their side now. I mean, you know, they always find a way to make it happen. I remember a couple of years back, they didn't bring back anybody, a bunch of young kids, and they were awesome. So, I mean, I think those kids just come in there, like, from junior high wanting to be great. You know what I mean? They want to keep it going. It's like momentum, right?
Yeah.
How about North? North has had a hard time in district so far in softball. They've won 5 games, scored 70 runs, and given up none. They're tough, man. I have to say they're tough.
I was just thinking you brought in North, but I was thinking of all those games, all those times North and San Benito play in the playoffs.
Oh my God, and Porter.
Yeah.
Softball's good. I like that sport. I have to admit, I really got into it.
It's a good sport down here in the valley.
Yeah.
They take a lot of pride in that sport here in the valley. I really like that about that.
And this year, South is good again. So now you got about 6 or 8 teams. The playoffs are going to be madcap and zany. I'll never forget the Mac High Edinburg playoffs of 2 or 3 years ago, and they played that double header in like 190-degree heat. I felt like a chicken in the oven, man. But it was good games. Both of them were good.
It was a good game.
Now EHS has got 2 losses in district this early for the first time in a whole lot of years.
They're not used to that.
No, they're not.
They're not used to that at all.
Not at all. I believe that they have what it takes to get back to the top of the district, but the problem is North really going to lose twice? Now, of course, they could go 0 and whatever. I mean, it was mathematically. But the way the freshman pitcher, Jackie Longoria, has come through, a 1 ERA, 40 strikeouts, 40 innings. In other words, Jackie had a little bit of a switch to third base. Your arm was kind of... This gal has stepped in. That's what you need, guys. Depth in a program. So when someone goes down, that person can jump in. I mean, their lineup's phenomenal. We knew that going in. 5 or 6 bangers. But the pitching has been there and the defense has been there. They haven't missed a beat from last year.
Which is going to set up another great game between them and Sharyland.
Indeed. And tonight, against Vela. This is a classic game of Mysterioso here, right? Because Vela beat everybody's butts big time, playing great softball. Edinburg High beat them 6-1. Okay, so if you just think mathematically, so let's see, this team lost to them and they killed them. So, or not killed, but beat. Yeah. So you have to start thinking maybe we're that team right here. What you have to do is have the effort tonight at home that says we're not that team, we're this team, right? You know, I always make it the chessboard.
Well, that's exactly what,
psychologically.
That's what district is, you know what I mean? You've got to look at the bigger picture and see for the postseason, the season that...
Seedings and rankings and all that.
The season that kind of only counts, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're defending a title, you know?
Yeah, you are. I'll tell you this. Vela has a chance to win district. EHS has a chance to win district. Vela's got 1 loss right now. Can North continue to play as well as it's played so far? If they do, they're not going to get touched by anybody in that district. Here's the thing. They may not. So, you know, we'll see whether, sometimes momentum is a tricky thing. You can get complacent, and the problem is you play 3 or 4 teams in a row that you beat 20-0, and then all of a sudden the big game come up on you. And you know what, there's 4 or 5 good teams, so it's not as bad a problem as it could be.
It's not, and it's that district in itself, I mean, it just goes back to what we said a little while ago. I mean, softball it's a really big sport here. I mean,
you know, I'm impressed with Haley Danette, shortstop. And now listen, Vanessa was there for 4 years, Salazar, one of the best athletes in school history. And she went to play college volleyball, and we're like, oh, look at that hole at shortstop. Well, Haley Danette fills the hole physically even more so than Vanessa because she's a strapping gal, you know. She's hitting .565. She's got 10 doubles already. I mean, in other words, she was one of those people, oh, if she does good, and if Cato Flores does good, they're all doing good. All of them. It's a good team, man.
That's good. That's good.
We'll see tonight.
Yeah,
Against Baylor.
yeah. What about the pitch?
The pitch. Well, speaking of North, it appears to be North year in sport so far because right now, both soccer teams have a pretty good chance.
Yeah.
The girls have broken out to second place, man.
Yeah, no, they have. The North is on the verge right now.
Yeah.
How many games are left?
Three.
Three.
And they're at 21, one ahead of Donna, three ahead of EHS, four ahead of EHS, three. Meaning they've got to win 2 out of 3. They still got to play Sharyland, but let me tell you, Sharyland lost again.
They did.
Yeah, the boys team is good, and it's a playoff team, but it's not invincible. So,
Why does
North gotta
Lincoln?
win 2 out of 3.
Yeah. Why does Lincoln's pulling away?
Lincoln's tough again. God, they have such touch. They play like a Brownsville team.
Palmview, Palmview and
good.
Sherry, they're there, 28, 27. So it's gonna be who's gonna get that last spot.
Yeah, North is going to win 2 out of 3, and I think they're going to win because Donna's going to lose to Lincoln on the last day of the season. You heard it here first. I'll sign it in the end of playoffs. What do you think of them apples? Hey, I'll tell you what, for the North boys, it is outstanding because last year was very difficult for them. I mean, that program is used to winning, and so last year was a downer. They're pretty much back. I mean, and a lot of those kids come back. I love Fabian Matamoros, and he's another kid who's just big and strong, man. He's a good player. And Diego Sanchez can touch so well, man. He don't even have to score as much. He's passing the ball to all those cats. And they've got 3 or 4 guys filling the lane. I watched them against the EHS, and the speed difference was phenomenal. And, EHS has had some fast teams in the past, and they just couldn't keep up with them. North was very fast.
Nice.
Almost a Lincoln-esque speed.
Yeah, there you go. PSJ North seems to be running away with that title.
I just don't know why, but I don't think that team is that incredible. But you know what? It's very consistent. And it scores, and it dares you to beat them, and they've lost like 1 time. They got 31 points.
I'm going to tell you what it is.
38 points.
I'm going to tell you what it is. They know how to put that lineup in.
Yeah.
They play. They'll match up against everybody the certain way. It's not about them going to let's just keep these people in. They'll match up that lineup. That coach really does have done.
He uses his cambios, huh?
Yeah.
Some coaches will just let it ride.
Job. Yeah, no, they really good job on that.
I always wonder about soccer substitutions because what you're doing when you're sending someone else in, if you're not relieving a player who's hurt, you're probably saying we need to change something. Because coaches do that, very technical types, right? I didn't know that for a while, but now I realize that, when a person comes in, he'll alter the game a little bit.
Yeah.
North boys have done fine. EHS is on the periphery.
Yeah.
Economides is out. And that is a strange thing. They had the talent at the beginning to get it done. They never got a consistency of rotation. Every time I would see them, some guy would be hurt, some guy would be with cards. It was just a down and difficult year for them. But you know what? They got talent. They'll be back.
That's what that school prides itself in.
Indeed, and it will be
soccer. I worked there for a little bit. I'm telling you, that's what they pride themselves in.
I love to go out there to watch games.
And
so it's
them,
a cool
for
thing.
them not to be in the playoffs this year is really it's really mind-boggling.
Yeah, it is mind-boggling. North, I think, is going to make it. I'm more confident of the North girls' chances because they're so far ahead right now. I mean, they won a big one against Palmview. They got 3 games left. They score a ton. Gloria Gutierrez, and now I think she has 10 goals in district. Sophomore. She can use either foot. She just starts to play. I like that team. And they got a lot of attackers on that team. And the defense has been better, I think, than we thought it might be because they lost everybody. They scored something like 30-something goals. Now, here's the deal. They caught immediately. They scored more.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they're still trying to get into this thing. I mean, they've got about 3 games left, and they've got to make up some ground. They're running 5th right now. And that shows you how much the talent on the girls' side is stacked because there's a lot of good teams. Even Vela at times has played pretty well. They got 13 points or some such. So, I mean, they're not bad.
There you go. There you go. Well,
what else? Hey, Cats Relays, man.
Like I was gonna say, like let's get out of here with the Cats Relays because last time we wanted to talk track, we didn't get a chance.
Vela boys did great. Brendan Rivera is a wonderful high jumper. 6'6". I predict he will approach Robert Christian's record of 7 foot set in the 90s, which I witnessed. Their girls did pretty well. Their girls have some middle-level sprinters. North was the girls' team that won the meet, 124 points, and they've been really good for a while. They have a good, steady effort. Frenchie Lopez is the veteran point scorer. Ilse Mahara won the pole vault, so they got some talent.
Yeah.
The thing is, EHS is the team to watch only because I'm now the world's biggest Alex Cruz fan. Dude, she is relentless. I mean, when she gets that look on her face, to forget it, man. She is a tough little chick, and I admire her, man. She lapped those guys, like I wrote. It seemed like she was running around forever. She's indefatigable. She just doesn't give up, man. I mean, she's tough, and she's the one that had the injury as a freshman, had all this promise, got hurt. Guys, here's the object lesson from that gal's career. Do the work. Because if you do the work, you'll be good. I mean, apparently the coaches say her work ethic is approaching legendary. I was just glad to see her race. It's been a while, and man, she looked great.
That's good.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Mhm.
What else do we got?
Who's the kid? Okay, here's a guy who's drawing my attention here. Tristan Flores, I believe his name is. Soccer defender and a track guy. He is built like there's no tomorrow. He looks like he ought to be a pro bodybuilder or a boxer. He is enormous, man, and he's got quick feet.
There you go.
Now, I'm watching that kid because you take a body like that, and if he does the work, like I'm saying, Miss Cruz did, man, that guy could go somewhere for free.
Nice.
That's the goal, kids, is to see your potential
D1.
and to rise up to it, man. Yeah,
D1.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want. D1 scholarships, man. I mean,
I'm having a great spring. The weather, the sun has returned. I have to admit to feeling a little bit down when it was cold, man, because I'm just not a cold weather guy. And it's not really that cold, but I mean, it was an extended period of you know?
yeah, the sun's out though. Enjoy the day. That's
Mhm.
what I think people should do.
When we come back next time talking sports, we'll tell even more tales of foolishness, and some of them might even be true. Greg Selber, Pete Pettis, spring break.